I'm Sarah, and I'm going to show you how to use the Marantz PMD661. So this is the Marantz, and it actually looks more complicated than it is, but there are a couple steps to get ready to use it to record. So the first thing you want to do is check your batteries. The Marantz is a battery gobbler. So you want to check it takes 4 AA batteries, and you want to go out with a good charge and also always have an extra pack of batteries. You don't want to find in the middle of a really great interview that your charge has run out and there's nothing you can do about it. The second thing you do is you use an SD card, and it goes in this slot here. And then we need to hook the microphone up to the Marantz. So we take your microphone cord and we plug it into the mono side here. So when I'm looking at the equipment, it's on the upper right-hand side. Then I'm going to take the cord and connect the microphone. Okay. The next thing you need to do is to plug in your headphones, because you can see that the Marantz is recording from the exterior screen and lights, but to really understand the quality of the audio, you have to be listening on headphones. Now, most headphones have this sort of narrow jack. You need this to adapt it to the Marantz, and then you plug that in where it says phones. You always want to wear your headphones when you're recording. At first it will feel a little strange, but you will get used to it. This microphone has a screen on it now, which is good because this means that you won't hear too much popping or noise. But if you're going to be in a really windy environment, you're going to want to use an extra screen. And whenever I record outside, I use this. It's incredibly helpful because if you don't, you'll get this sort of hard blowing noise of the wind against the microphone, and it will completely ruin your audio, and it's very, very hard to get out of it. So just think about where you're going to be recording. When you're recording, even inside, make sure that you're not facing an air conditioner or a refrigerator or a computer screen, because all of those things will generate noise. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you hold the microphone. Even somebody who's really experienced with interviewing tends to shake the microphone around, and that moves the cord and creates a lot of noise, which is also really distracting and can ruin your audio. So the next thing you're going to do is turn the Marantz on. There's like a power slider here. And then you see this screen. Now, whenever I put a card in the Marantz, I format it to make sure that I'm going to have enough space and that the file isn't going to end up being corrupted. So we go down to Utility, press Enter, and then navigate down to Card Format. Then we press Enter. Use this to go to the left and Enter. The card formatting can take a while. Don't panic if it takes a minute or so. Okay, so that's working. Now, there are a couple volume controls on the Marantz. This moderates how loudly the audio that you're recording comes through your headphones. So I try to have that adjusted into the middle area. And this records the audio going into the Marantz through the microphone. I'll start with it around 5, and then I will do some checks on that level. This part of the Marantz has lights that light up. This is the low end of recording, and this is the high end. If you see your recording going into the red often, that means your audio is too high and you're going to want to turn it down. So I'm starting with the audio level around 5, and then I'm going to hit the record button. You can see that it's solid red and that there's a circle here. It says record and it's counting. So that's your clear indication that you are recording. Then I'll do a check, and see if these lights are lighting up green. And you'll see if I turn it up higher, hopefully you can see this. Check. It's going red. This is too high. So I'm going to turn it back down to around 5, and that looks good. Now you can pause while you're recording, and the light starts to blink. And that means that when you start recording again, you're still going to be on the same track. You can see 1001, that's your track there. I'm going to start recording again, same track. If I stop, and then I begin recording again, I've started a new track. And I think that's just your personal preference. I tend to end up with a lot of different tracks. Some people just record one long track. When you're using the microphone, people tend to want to stay far away from the person they're interviewing because they don't want to invade their personal space. You should really have this microphone about 6 inches from the person's mouth, and don't aim it directly at them because then you may get a popping sound. Let them sort of talk across the microphone. And you can imagine that the microphone is recording with sort of a cone coming out of it. So you want the person to be within 6 inches within that cone so that you get the best sound and there's not a lot of other sound coming in. If you're recording in a meeting and you're standing 20 feet away from the person who's speaking, you're going to get all this sound coming in from around the room. So you want to be really close to the person that you're recording and just explain to them what you're doing, and people are fine with it. So I'm going to stop recording, and then I'm going to turn off the Marantz with the power slide. And those are your basics on how to work the Marantz equipment.